Hello, you're watching VN News Bulletin. I'm Banga from Hanoi, and now the headlines as usual.
National Assembly deputies elect high-ranking officials. Vietnam posts $1.8 billion trade surplus in 7 months. Ha Long Bay among Southeast Asia's ideal destinations.
A delegation of top Vietnamese leaders led greets and pitch tribute to heroic martyrs at the Monument to Heroic Martyrs in Hanoi on July 27th to mark the 69th National War Invalids and Martyrs Day. The leaders included Party General Secretary Nguyen Phu Trọng, President Trần Đại Quang, Prime Minister Nguyễn Xuân Phúc, National Assembly Chairwoman Nguyễn Thị Kim Ngân, and President of the Vietnam Fatherland Front Central Committee Nguyễn Thiện Nhân, among others. The leader then paid tribute to late President Ho Chi Minh at his mausoleum. Delegations from the Central Military Commission, the Ministries of Public Security, Invalids and Social Affairs, and the Hanoi Municipal People's Committee also led greets at the Heroic Martyrs Monument and President Ho Chi Minh's mausoleum. Nearly 1.2 million Vietnamese soldiers died in wars defending the country and international missions. Lawmakers cast secret ballots to elect a state vice president, chief judge of the Supreme People's Court, and prosecutor general of the Supreme People's Procuracy during the plenary session in Hanoi on July 27th.
Accordingly, 478 out of 488 deputies present at the plenary sitting, or 96.76% of the total lawmakers, voted for Dang Thi Ngoc Thich as state vice president for the 2016-2021 tenure. With 473 approval votes, or 95.75%, Nguyễn Hòa Bình was elected as chief judge of the Supreme People's Court. 448 deputies, or 90.69%, chose Lê Minh Chí for the post of Prosecutor General of the Supreme People's Procuracy. The National Assembly then approved draft resolutions on electing the positions with a majority of 4 votes. In his inaugural address, Nguyễn Hòa Bình vowed to absolutely be loyal to the nation, people, and the Constitution, and make concerted efforts to fulfill the tasks assigned by the parties, the state, and people. He pledged to build a pure court system that performs its tasks as stipulated in the Constitution to protect justice, human rights, citizens' rights, socialism, the state's interests, and legitimate rights and interests of organizations and individuals. Also, in July 27th section, Prime Minister Nguyễn Xuân Phúc delivered a report on the structure of the government for the 2016-2021 term. According to the report, the government's structure will remain at 27 members, including 1 Prime Minister, 5 Deputy Prime Ministers, of whom 1 Deputy Prime Minister cum Foreign Minister, and 21 ministers and heads of ministerial-level agencies. Later on the day, the National Assembly adopted a resolution on the government's structure with 96.96% of approval votes.
The 36th ASEAN Dialogue took place in Jakarta, Indonesia on July 26, with discussions focusing on the Permanent Court of Arbitration's ruling on disputes in the East Sea. Many scholars, researchers, and diplomats attended the event.
The dialogue aimed to define the tribunal ruling's impacts on regional stability, point out challenges and opportunities for the unity and the central role of ASEAN in maintaining peace and stability in the region, and evaluate reactions and actions that Indonesia and concerned parties can deploy to ensure regional peace and stability. CEO Pramono, Director General and Head of the Foreign Ministry's Policy Analysis and Development Agency, said that ASEAN member states have to date issued the particular statements of the PCA ruling, which all emphasized the need to exercise self-restraint, avoid tense action, and conduct actions in accordance with international law and ASEAN's legal standards.
In general, reactions of the concerned parties have been moderate and foreseeable. The regional countries and involved parties are keeping a close watch on the ruling's effects so as to have appropriate responses.
Participants agreed that this is a final and legally binding ruling, whose results depend much on the relevant parties, as there is no common mechanism to enforce it.
Environmental pollution is alarming, mainly due to mining activities with loose management. This situation requires stronger measures to protect the environment. That is the message delivered at a seminar with the theme Circulating Economy, a new approach to improve the competitiveness and reduce waste in Hanoi on July 27th. The concept of circulating economy can be interpreted as a process during which used goods are recycled into resources for the future utilization, with the aim of protecting the environment and natural resources.
Taking a power factory as an example, coal dust left after its power generating process can be reused as construction materials. By doing it this way, the factory diversifies its products and contributes to environmental protection.
Untreated waste has become a pressing issue, which is threatening the environment, human health, and the quality of air, land, and water.
Actually, the biggest benefits to promote the circular economy is to use our resources very effectively, right? So our resources is very limited, and I think this is can help our environmental protection and also do good for our business.
However, the principle of a circulating economy is rather new to Vietnam. The country is working to devise a mechanism to encourage the sustainability and deter activities that are harmful to the environment. Economic experts have suggested Vietnam thoroughly assess the impacts that the Vietnam Euro-Asian Economic Union Free Trade Agreement may exert on specific sectors and markets in a bid to fully enjoy the benefits brought about by the pact.
The agreement spans a range of fields from trade to sustainable development and intellectual property. If the pact comes into force this year as scheduled, it will allow Vietnam to access the big Euro-Asian market soon, and Vietnamese goods like garments, textiles, farm produce, leather, and footwear will enjoy substantial benefits thanks to tariff preferences. However, experts advised local businesses to mull over the agreement's contents relating to their products and rules of origin. Apart from observing strict regulations prescribed in the agreement, Vietnamese businesses should map out plans to compete with their rivals in the foreign countries fairly, with special attention paid to product price and quality. The pact is expected to increase trade revenue between Vietnam and the Union to $10 billion in 2020 from the current yearly average of $4 billion.
Vietnam registered a trade surplus of $1.8 billion in the first 7 months of this year. The figures were released by the General Statistics Office. During the period, export value was estimated at $96.8 billion, up 5.3% compared with the same period last year. Meanwhile, import value declined 0.9% to $95 billion. In July alone, the countries earned $14.7 billion from exports and spent $14.6 billion on imports. The country mainly shipped its products to the US, the EU, and China, while imported from China, the Republic of Korea, ASEAN, and Japan. Exports from the domestic sector rose 2.4%, despite a high trade deficit, showing signs of its recovery during the period. Ho Chi Minh City Statistics Office reported that the flow of foreign direct investment registered in the southern largest economic hub has reached only $863.6 million since the beginning of 2016, much lower than the figure of $2.5 billion in the same period last year. According to the office, real estate remained the most attractive city to foreign investors, drawing $280 million, or 43.7% of the city's total FDI. Trade ranked second with $185 million, or 28.9%. In the period, the Cayman Islands were the city's leading source of FDI with $231 million. It was followed by Japan with $96.1 million and Singapore with $87.2 million. An official of the Municipal Department of Planning and Investment said the city's FDI results didn't reflect its overall picture of investment attraction because large-scale projects are often proposed by foreign investors in the second half of the year. To create favorable conditions for investors, Ho Chi Minh City continued to allocate more cleared land for production and upgrade infrastructure at industrial parks and export processing zones. It also focuses on speeding up administrative reforms. The city would prioritize attracting FDI in knowledge and technology industries, supporting industries and biotechnology to realize the city's goal to become a knowledge economy, achieve green growth, and improve development quality and competitiveness. Terror Pier, which features the most amazing sights around the world, divided into best of place, has recently named Ha Long Bay as the third most ideal tourism attraction in Southeast Asia. Now let's join us to take a glance at the bay. Located in the northeast of Vietnam, Ha Long Bay resembles a scene from a fantasy story with thousands of limestone islands. Terror Pier said some of the islands contain lakes while some are hollow, with a colorful fairyland of grottos inside. 4 fishing villages composed of floating houses can be found on Ha Long Bay. The bay, which spans 1,553 square kilometers and includes 1,969 islands of various sizes, was twice recognized by UNESCO as the World Heritage Site in 1994 and 2000. In 2011, it was voted one of the 7 new natural wonders of the world. The bay is an iconic destination for visitors to Quảng Ninh province with its rich biodiversity, stunning beauty, and significant historical and cultural value. Last year, Quảng Ninh welcomed 7.7 million tourists. In the first 6 months of 2016, it greeted 5.4 million visitors, including 2 million from abroad, a year-on-year increase of 52%. Talented Vietnamese pioneer soloist Vũ Ngọc Linh will join the Vietnam National Symphony Orchestra to perform at the 90th Toyota concert, scheduled to be held in Hanoi on August 5th and 6th, and in Ho Chi Minh City on August 10th and 11th. At the concert tour, Linh and the orchestra, under the baton of Japanese conductor Honda Tetsuji, will present classical masterpieces of Russian composers, including Glinka, Rachmaninoff, and Tchaikovsky. All proceeds from ticket sales of the concert tour will be donated to the Toyota Vietnam Foundation to fund scholarships for talented young musicians in schools across the country. Vũ Ngọc Linh began playing piano in 1988 when he was 6 years old. In 2004, the pianist performed at the Minnesota Music Festival and surpassed European and American competitors to take first prize in the New Jersey Solo Piano Contest. And that has to wrap up our news bulletin. Thanks for joining us, and goodbye for now.